isn't it weird? And team, if you're in the chat right now and you feel this way, like for 2 years, I was like obsessed with AI. It was like this video game that I couldn't stop playing late at night. And it was definitely helping. I'm not saying it wasn't helping, but there's this weird effect where I was using AI a lot, but it felt like I almost had just another thing to manage. It's working. I love it. I can't live without it. But the promise of AI is your life's going to get easier. And for a while, I was like, it feels like it's sort of getting harder. It's like I need this now. It's this new thing I have to use, but now I have to manage it all the time. Sean says it's working, but I can feel like I can't get it to the automated state. It's this extra thing that has to be constantly managed. And I think part of, for me, my answer to that, Carrie, of like, why did we feel like we needed to show it now, is it finally feels like the flywheel is moving and we'll go to bed and we wake up and something has happened. Or when we send it off to do something, it goes off and does massively complicated things and comes back. It's consistently right. One of the big moments for me was over the last month, I keep yelling at my AI and saying like, you're wrong. And actually it ends up that it was right. And I was wrong. And that creates a trust where you're like, whoa, let me step back for a second. Like, this is really working right now because I can almost trust it more than I trust myself. So now when it comes back and tells me something I don't expect, I'm like, well, maybe I should pause for a second because it really has that intelligence that I was looking. Let me just talk about what I call the organ player problem. If you're taking notes, write down the organ player problem really quickly. AI is so fun. You want to play with it. When you start playing with it, you realize that it's super helpful, but then it just feels like one more thing you have to manage, one more mountain you have to climb. Now you can do more, but there's more you have to do. This is sort of like if you see an organ player who plays with their feet too, it's like your hands are moving, your feet are moving, they're super focused, they're like sweating. And the second they stop, what happens? The music stops. Who here feels like that's a great analogy for your AI usage? Like moving constantly, I get a great result from this thread, but then I got to move it over into this thread, paste it in. And then that gives me a result and I got to move it over to this thread. And then who here has like lost a thread that where you were doing great work and you're like, oh my God, I can't find that thread. And the search sucks. In both, somehow both Claude and ChatGPT have like the worst search in the world. So you lose the thread and you're like, can't find it again. Now you're starting all over again, trying to build up the same result. It's madness. This is what I call the organ player problem. It's like, yes, AI works. Yes, it makes you more productive, but it gives you this extra job that you didn't really sign up for. I think any productivity system that demands you to be perfect is not worth being called a productivity system. Great productivity systems should make it so that you need to be less perfect, not more perfect. This is why I've always had a problem with Getting Things Done by David Allen. When we've talked about this with David, is it works great as long as you're perfect every single day. And the week that you fall off, it all just falls apart. You want a system that you can fall off and come back and you're like, okay, it didn't all fall apart. Maybe it's not as good as it would have been if I was on it, but it's like been supporting me in staying on it. I'm going to be totally honest. That's how I felt for a very long time with AI. I just thought I was investing time in it. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm busier, but I'm getting ahead of my clients and I'm doing this research. But there's a point at which I was like, something's wrong here. Something's rotten in the state of Denmark. Like the whole promise of AI is like to be less busy and I'm getting more busy. So here's sort of the reframe. After 2 years of us working really hard to make it simple for ourselves, we finally made it simple enough, not just for ourselves, but finally to show to you. The way that I think about, thank you, Al, for saying this, my superpower is taking really complicated things and making them simple. And that's not because I'm smart. It's actually because I'm a bit dumb. Like I can only understand it if it's simple. I'm like
lazy. Advanced lazy. Advanced lazy.
I don't want to use tools that are complicated. Just say amen in the chat if you're just like, I don't want to geek out on things. I don't want 60 things plugged in together. Like
I don't have time for that. Like I have a job already. I don't have time to also learn new stuff.
Well, and then it's so delicate. It's like if one thing in your 60 things breaks, now you got to go diagnose. It's just like, I can't do that. It's got to be massively simple. So here's our promise. We have done the nerding out so you don't have to. So we're going to be giving you a tour of this system. And I want you to know that we have made it so darn simple. And I'm going to show you right now, like how simple it is. So
I will also say that I started building stuff in AI, and then AI expanded and I expanded. And then I have this stuff that's kind of duct taped together. And I just didn't want to go back and try to like start rebuilding all of that stuff. So I love that I'm going to be just copying everything that you build.
That's what we want our clients to do. Just copy us.